Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Apple Box Chronicles. My name is Peyton Buto.
And I'm Adryon Thomas.
And today on the ABCs, we're taking you from A to Z on Play Dirty, the new Shane Black film, the film everybody's talking about right now, starring Mark Wahlberg, everyone's favorite actor. I'm just kidding. We're actually talking about, well, we are talking about that.
Yeah.
But we're actually also talking about the new Knives Out film, Wake Up Dead Man, which I'm sure a lot of people are way more interested in.
Yeah.
But we want to highlight this other movie, Play Dirty 2, because not only do we have some thoughts about it that we feel are not reciprocated by the majority of people that we both feel, but also we paired these two directors in our very second episode earlier this year on our dual directors series. So we paired Shane Black and Rian Johnson, and we broke down like all their movies. So go listen to that episode for more thoughts on their other movies and everything and why we did that. But we decided that because they both had new movies coming out, that it would kind of be fun to just put them together in an episode, just as kind of a, I guess, an inside joke, and to highlight this other film.
Yeah. And I mean, well, Play Dirty's been out for a few, like maybe a month or two now? Or
I think a few months. I think it was late September that we saw it. And it was early October that it came out on Amazon Prime. It is a streaming movie that we got a chance to see early in theaters.
Yeah.
And I believe it was like the first ever night that it had shown.
Yeah.
It said world premiere on the screen, even though it was like an Alamo Drafthouse live stream Q&A with Shane Black and Robert Downey Jr. But this movie, I think, benefited from that theater experience that a lot of people didn't get.
It's so unfortunate.
It really is unfortunate, and that's also why we both, I think, would agree that you should go see Wake Up Dead Man in theaters right now, if you still can, before that drops on Netflix on December 12th. I believe this episode will be up before then. So please go see that and watch Play Dirty 2.
Yeah.
You know, we both like these movies, and even though Play Dirty is not as good at home, I'd imagine, it's still, I really think it still has some
so
juice.
Fun. It's such a fun movie.
We will be spoiling both of these films in this episode, but just before we do that, I guess I want to give like some general thoughts on both of them, just a little, like just maybe about the technical stuff more than anything. So because Play Dirty is the one that everyone's excited about, what are your thoughts on Play Dirty, like non-specific?
I thought it was really fun. Like, this is what Shane Black should just be doing all the time, is this type of movie. I think really the biggest criticism I have for the movie is that Mark Wahlberg plays Parker. And Mark Wahlberg, though he's been in great movies before, and I've liked his performances in the past, he's so boring and bad nowadays. Like, almost any movie he's in, it's like, okay, sure, you're bringing absolutely nothing to this, but you're
listen,
voice.
You didn't see Father Stew. I did.
You saw Father Stew?
I did go see Father Stew.
Oh my god.
Speaking of, that's directed by Mel Gibson's girlfriend, I believe. I don't know if they're still together, but then he also was in a new Mel Gibson film called Flight Risk earlier this year. Case in point, Father Stew is not good. I'm joking.
Yeah.
I do think his performance in it is kind of funny, but Father Stew is not good.
No, yeah. Anything with Mark Wahlberg these days is just not good at all. If you want to see a good Mark Wahlberg performance, just watch Boogie Nights. That's all you need to do.
And he wouldn't even want
and he doesn't even like that movie, and that just shows you how bad of an actor he is. He doesn't even like the best performance he's ever done.
Yeah, he doesn't have good taste, maybe.
Well, what would have made Play Dirty work is if Robert Downey Jr., who's the producer on this movie, but he was, I think, originally supposed to be the main actor in this movie, but obviously being Robert Downey Jr., I don't think there was probably scheduling conflicts.
Dr. Doom conflicts or some shit.
Which is unfortunate, because I think he would have brought so much more to this character and to this role in this movie if he was...
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it would have been night and day. But also, if it couldn't be him, why Mark, bro? Like,
I think it was such an easy role for Mark to just come in and do.
Yeah, I guess. It just sucks.
Yeah.
It just sucks that it's like...
Because almost like everything around it is just so much more fun and and great. I honestly think Play Dirty is a pretty great movie. We will get into it a little bit later. It does kind of suffer with the whole streaming service kind of CGI look at some
there's
parts.
like an unnecessary like big scale to it sometimes, but like you're still getting the Shane Black stuff that you love in other movies, just on a larger scale. And I think it still does work. It's just kind of the CGI is a little distracting sometimes, and it's a streaming movie, so people aren't really gonna pay full attention to it.
And I think, other than the obvious facts, with Mark Wahlberg being in it, I think people watching this movie, like the case with almost anybody watching a movie on a streaming site, is that they're not even paying attention to the movie, and that's why they don't like it, because they're like, it's whatever, and then it's like, were you even watching the movie though?
Yeah, well, I'm not technically saying that everybody who didn't like this movie didn't actually watch it. I think it's fine to dislike this movie. I think
that's like the main case for a lot of people watching these straight to streaming movies, is that they're not paying attention.
You can even see it in the statistics of like when a theatrically released film goes to VOD or like rental at home. Like The Long Walk, this happened with The Long Walk.
Yeah.
When it went at home, the great film by the way, but when it went at home, people started like there was just this onslaught of people on social media suddenly, like a month or two after it come out. Suddenly, everyone was like, "Oh, this movie like sucks. It's so boring. It's so stupid. Why would they sign up for this?" Like all these questions that are answered in the movie, all these things, and I'm like, "Oh, so you guys aren't actually watching these things?" Like,
and if it's the case for movies like that, movies that are actually like really like solid, it's the case for any other movie that hasn't even been out in theaters.
Yeah, if it doesn't get a chance in theaters, it's like it almost just immediately kind of dilutes the movie a little bit. But Wake Up Dead Man, on the other hand, also technically a streaming movie, but it has an exclusive theatrical run for a little bit, which is great. So we both got to see it in a theater. I've seen it twice. You've seen it once.
Mm-hmm.
I think this film, like, just, I guess it's a mystery movie, so we can get into it later, the specifics, but the visuals, like, Steve Yedlin is a wizard, I think. Like, he's such a good DP, and all of Rian Johnson's movies look great because of him, because them together, it's like, the lighting in this movie, the gothic atmosphere of it, I mean, there's shots that are still in my head, like, there's a scene of a woman opening two doors and like the sky behind her is red and the moon, and it's very like atmospheric, and like the way that in the church where most of the film takes place, like the lighting will change as like the trees move outside.
Well, I think it's like the clouds go.
Yeah, the clouds and the trees and stuff. Like it just kind of like goes dim and it goes bright, and it like matches the mood of the scene so well. It's like there's like a mysticism to that place. So the movie is like criticizing this church, this corrupt kind of church, but at the same time you do feel the magic and why certain characters believe in that place and want that place to be better. And it's through the visuals. Like the storytelling is really great, I think, and also just so many scenes outside when it's like almost nighttime and there's wind and there's leaves, and like it's just it's a beautiful movie, man.
I think this is actually probably Rian Johnson's like most interesting, even experimentally, in terms of like visually, that he's done with any of his movies, other than maybe Brick. But then Brick, you almost have to be that way when you're doing your first movie,
right? But
this one, he's doing some crazy stuff with the camera, like zooms and like these like shots from afar, the lighting, just like a bunch of stuff that's like super cool, and you don't really see filmmakers really doing weird and experimental stuff with the camera. And it's not even like very flashy, it's like just slightly flashy. It's like if you watch movies like we do, you'll notice it, but if you don't, then it's probably just gonna look just kind of cool, but it's not just in your face about it. And
by the way, when we say like we do, we're not trying to be like we're so much smarter than you. We're just saying if you're just into movies and you just like watching.
Yeah, I've literally watched thousands of movies. Like not a lot of people have seen as much movies as I have.
So, I think that's just statistical.
Yeah.
That's not. It's not that like your opinions are better or whatever.
But
it's on the internet. You got to say these things.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
But it also just makes me wonder, like, Steve Yedlin. I want to see him work with other directors other than just Rian Johnson, because there's a lot of great cinematographers out there that work with several different filmmakers, and like they're big and well known because of how good they are. But I think the reason why people don't talk about Steve Yedlin as much is because he kind of limits himself to just working with Rian Johnson at this point in his career.
He's always got the next
which is
project
fine.
lined up.
It's always great to work with your friends and whatnot. But I feel like nobody's really pushing to see more stuff from him. I think he's great. Like, he's been working for a long. He's worked with like Toby Hooper. Like the dude's been in the industry for quite a while.
I think him and Ryan went to school together. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it truly is remarkable stuff. I mean, I remember talking about this on my TikTok like 4 years ago when I was talking about I was talking about Knives Out constantly. In fact, my biggest regret is that when the sequel Glass Onion was coming out, I actually got hit up by the marketing team. They were like, "We want to use your video to advertise Glass Onion," and I didn't do it. And
I think that they were gonna pay you like $100 or something.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do it. I was like, for this, but it's like a 10-second video, so I was like, it kind of is fine. I just wish that I would have gotten a little more value out of it, but it would have been kind of cool to like be like, yeah, they used my video to sponsor, because that was so early. Like, I've never had that happen since. So I think that's it was cool when you're really, really passionate about a specific thing, and then it kind of like pays off. Like, I made so many videos about Knives Out. In fact, it kind of is a huge part of the reason that I'm, one, still doing it, and two, that I have had maybe most of the opportunities that I have, because that really like kind of jolted I guess my following, and kind of got like established me a little bit, was those videos. And so I really do have a special relationship with Knives Out. It's also one of the first movies I saw with my girlfriend, who I've been with for 6 years, so we've seen all three of these together. So like there's a lot of stuff, like sentimental stuff to Knives Out. But Steve Yedlin in the first one shot it on digital, but he made it look like film.
Yeah, he added like the little fluttering of the film.
He somehow did something to replicate like the halation that happens with film. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So really cool stuff. I mean, he's just doing a lot of interesting work. And so, yeah, I think this is a beautiful movie.
Yeah. Well, I think we should just get into it.
Yeah,
into the
so
nitty-gritty.
The moment you've all been waiting for, Play Dirty spoilers. Listen, so we're going to spoil both of these movies from here on out. So if you haven't seen Play Dirty, but you want to hear us talk about Wake Up Dead Men, we'll like put a timestamp in the description for you to skip to that part, because that's like probably I think what most people are interested in. But we have this block of spoilers for this movie, so if you're like planning to see this movie, you can still listen to that segment. So let's get started. Like we said, Mark Wahlberg, easily the worst part of the movie.
Yeah.
But the supporting cast, they're solid.
I think it's so funny. It's like
so funny.
The comedy's great, and like I said, like this is what Shane Black is good at and what he's known for. Like, and he just needs to make movies like this, like for the rest of his career at this point. Probably, I think it would work a little bit better if he had a smaller budget, if he wasn't as kind of grand with how crazy this movie gets. But it's still fun. Like, even all the like CGI stuff that happens like later on in the film, that like the big disastrous like train sequence.
That scene is so funny. I was in the theater with you, and we were both dying at like Lakeith Stanfield dodging this giant train that just fucking derails above him. Like, it's ridiculous. He's like dodging it on accident. And that's just what Shane Black does so well, is like this comedy where it's like stuff is happening by accident. I think he's one of the best writers in terms of like making a character who looks like they don't know what they're doing, but like do it in a way that feels accidental, if that makes sense.
No, it's probably, he probably does it the best in like Nice Guys.
Yeah, with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
I actually think that's why he's perfect for Iron Man 2. Because Iron Man is very like silly and kind of jokey, but he also
He's a
is
genius.
very, very, very smart. Yeah, and so he kind of has like both. That's and also he's good friends with Robert Downey Jr. So it all kind of works.
Yeah.
In that sense. But yeah, this is. It really is the comedy of the action that he nails at every step of this movie. And I feel like that's kind of why the movie is so entertaining. Like, it's nonstop. The stakes are increasing at a constant rate throughout the film. I just remember there was never a moment where I was like, oh, we've been on this for a while. Like, it always is going to the next.
It's got that, I like to say Robert Zemeckis thing going, because he's just so known for just, like, upping the ante with each new scene.
Yeah, I mean, you think about one scene that comes to mind for me in that regard is like the end of Back to the Future.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
It's just when Doc's trying to reconnect that cable, and then the car is like not working, and like all these different things. It's like Shane Black kind of does similar stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not as iconic or great as that scene, but I just do.
But
think...
it's just the fact that he just keeps going and it just doesn't stop. It's really fun, and it keeps you on your toes, and I think it's great. I think a lot of people are just gonna look past all the great stuff about this and just be like, Mark Wahlberg's in it. It's a prime movie.
There's a stain on it for sure.
Yeah, and it's just so.
But it's playing dirty.
It's true.
It's not called play clean. Okay?
Yeah, it's also really ballsy movie. Like, it's doing some stuff that you just don't see, like, characters do. Like Parker's, I guess you could call him like an anti-hero. Like, he's he does good things, but he also sticks to his word when it comes to the bad things as well. And he does some pretty awful stuff. I mean, we're in the spoilers. He kills the Rosa,
which is unexpected, because you kind of expect them to like get together or something, and then by the end he kind of like outsmarts her and takes her out. It's like, and it's kind of sad for him too.
Yeah,
but I do think that's what you're talking about. Like that kind of, there's unexpected beats in this movie. Also, animated opening credits sequence looks great.
Very much like a James Bond opening.
Yeah, and Alan Silvestri did the score.
Yeah, it's like there's so much to like about this movie, and I think people are just gonna sweep it under the rug just because of just Mark Wahlberg. I can't.
I know. I like laughing.
That and just the fact that I don't like that it's an Amazon Prime.
No, I don't either. I'm glad we got to see it in theaters.
Yeah,
like,
I wish more people got to see it in theaters. I honestly feel like this movie would have a better reputation if it was in theaters.
If it just got like a week or two theatrical run and people got to... It was in September. Like, it wasn't that crazy of a month.
Yeah.
Like, they could have thrown it in there. By the way, I think I like Mark Wahlberg when I get to laugh at him a little more.
Yeah,
that's I think why Father Stu actually works a little better, because he's like he's goofy in that. Flight Risk too. He's hamming it up in moments.
Yeah,
Flight Risk is an abysmal film.
Yeah,
I want you to know. It's January movie to a T. Yeah. It's got generative AI all over it. It's fucking stupid. Yeah. It's like I that was the first movie this year where I was like genuinely so pissed off, because I wanted that movie to be dumb fun so bad. Like, I wanted it to just be goofy as hell. And then the first shot is like a generative AI motel, and I was like, God damn it, Mel Gibson, why?
I mean, Mel Gibson hasn't done anything good since, like, what, Apocalypse?
And then, Mark Wahlberg in the movie, he's giving this ridiculous performance that I think is so funny, and yet they let him be unconscious for 70% of the movie.
Yeah. I
was pissed. Anyway, this is not about that. The point is, The Happening is one of his best performances. That's the point. He's so funny in that.
If anything, The Happening shows that he can have a certain range to him. But
I think in The Happening, he's kind of being like, it's supposed to be like this weird, like, because in that time period, you would expect Mark Wahlberg to be a little more like masculine.
Yeah.
And so they put him as this dorky like science teacher, and I
Yeah.
think that kind of counter I don't know, against type
Yeah.
is just very, very funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is not about that. Play Dirty, it's good.
Nat Wolf is so funny.
Nat Wolf is in this. It's
So
so
funny.
good.
I mean, Keegan Michael Key's in it as well. Like it's, I don't know.
And Keith Stanfield, very good.
Yeah, it's all great. All I could say is just give it a chance.
Give it a chance. I mean,
don't be on your phone when you're watching it.
Yeah, just actually watch it all
Yeah.
the way through and pay attention to it. I made a video about this recently. I was like, guys, watching movies is like an action. Like you
Yeah.
have to actually do you do it.
Yeah.
You don't just let it happen to you. It's not like it's not a vegetative, you're not just a vegetable like sitting on the couch.
It's not like music where you could just put it on the background while you're like washing dishes.
I mean, the thing is you can, but
You
it's
can, but
same
it's
thing.
like-
It's like you're not. I wouldn't.
If you're used to, if you like the movie and it's like something you just want to put on the background, I get it. But if you're like watching it for the first time,
Yeah.
pay attention.
I don't understand why like if I fall asleep during a movie or something, like I'm not gonna like say I watched that. I have
Yeah.
to go back and
Yeah.
rewatch it because I fall asleep during movies sometimes, and I feel like no, I need to like
Yeah, I feel bad.
yeah, I need to revisit because I feel like oh that's on me. But also if you're listening to music while you're cooking or something, like that's great, and I think like movies can do the same thing. There's great like movies to put on at house parties that
Yeah.
you just look at the screen and you're like, oh,
Just
what's
a
going on?
vibe.
Just a vibe. But that's not some shit I would like actually try to critique afterwards. Like you'd have to actually engage with it. I just think every opinion, like art is subjective. You can have whatever opinion on a movie that you feel.
Yeah.
The only prerequisite to having an opinion on a movie is actually watching it.
Yeah, you
That's
can't.
the only thing you have to do.
I think one of the worst things I see is like people in comments or something where it's like, or even on Letterboxd, it's like, didn't finish it, hated it. It's like, how do you hate it if you didn't even finish it?
Yes.
You haven't even seen the movie.
You don't even know what
Yeah.
like maybe everything you hated, like by the end you realize why it works or
Yeah.
it clicks into place. Like I feel like movies can pull the rug out from under you so easily in so many unexpected ways
Yeah.
that you kind of have to see it through.
Especially with movies like Play Dirty and Wake Up Dead Man, which has like twists and turns at every corner.
Yeah.
Like, you may hate the first half of it, but like something may happen with one of the characters, or a plot may change, or something happens, completely changes your mind on the movie. Like, watch the whole movie.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then give your
sometimes you're liking a movie and then you just hate it by the
Yeah.
end because of something they do. And that also, like, if you don't finish it, you could be like, oh, that movie was great. And you don't even realize that they were just, like, super racist in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's an extreme example.
Yeah.
But, they could do that. They could just,
Yeah.
just pull out whatever they want. Anyway,
Well, let's get into Wake Up Dead
yeah,
Man,
I
since
guess-
everybody's like talking about that movie.
so you guys can all wake up now that we're talking about the movie that you want us to talk about. Wake Up Dead Man. I forgot to put the picture up there, but I'll just put it in later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. It's great.
Wake Up Dead Man. It is great.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll kind of go actor by actor, just to kind of talk a bit about the characters and kind of talk about the role in the movie and how it makes it work.
And I think in doing that, we will kind of expand out on everything we want to hit with this. So,
Yeah.
starting off, our two leads, because in these Knives Out movies, there's always like a sidekick. There's always an unlikely friendship formed between Benoit Blanc and a character closely involved to the murder that happened. So in Glass Onion, that's Janelle Monáe's character. And in that movie, you don't really know what's happening until halfway through. I think that's why people don't favor that one, because it keeps you in the dark for longer.
Yeah. It also does that thing where it's like you watch events happen, then you watch them again through a different perspective.
And it kind of almost feels like you're like, okay,
Yeah.
But I love that movie for what it's saying, and I do think it's still very entertaining.
Yeah.
Great cast, and I don't prefer the aesthetics, the glamour of it, but I do understand why it is the way it is. Now Knives Out, the first one, is Ana de Armas' character, which is a great character that I love very much. I loved one of the things I love that he does with these movies is he kind of shows the power of just being a decent human in today's times. Not like a superhero or anything, but like a decent human that's flawed. And that's what he kind of shows through these sidekick characters. So Josh O'Connor is a priest with like kind of a violent past. He's killed someone in a boxing ring. In his opinion, or in his view, is out of hatred. Like he was like, I genuinely hated that guy, and I took him out in the boxing ring, and that's when he turned to his religion to kind of confess that sin and accept these beliefs into his life. And then Benoit Blanc, on the other hand, is a detective. He's a facts guy. So you kind of have the greatest, I think, example of this dynamic is The Hollow Man by John Dixon Carr that they reference in the movie, where the impossible crime is committed in that book. And also there is a Jesus figurine that's literally hollow. There's nothing in it when they're looking for something. And I think, and then at the end of the film, you get that Jesus they filled the Hollow Man, they put the jewel in there, right? So I think the whole idea, and also, the central plot revolves around a corpse having a jewel in it as well. Yeah. So the Hollow Man it's kind of like whenever we're faced with something that like an unsolvable mystery in our lives, like not just in like in the sense of faith, which is like the biggest mystery ever. It's like inherently it has to be a mystery, but it's also whenever we don't understand ourselves, we kind of like have to tell some kind of story or figure something out to make it make sense. And some people try to do that. They're very like logical and facts-based, and some people connect more with storytelling, even if it's not all based in reality, and it's not all tidy either. So I think that these two characters and the kind of hollowness and kind of filling the void is what I like most about this movie, in the way it marries the murder mystery and the religious mystery.
I think there's a lot of great themes in this movie, like in his other Knives Out movie. It's honestly very political with all of them, and Josh O'Connor plays like more of a main character in this movie than Benoit Blanc does, because Benoit Blanc really only comes in like halfway through the movie.
It's like 40 minutes. And he said he did that because he wanted the setup to be more like a classic Agatha Christie in this one, where you meet everyone first.
Yeah, and which is fine, because I think at this point we all know who Benoit Blanc is. We kind of get the whole shtick, and I think we're just at this moment we just want to see like what's actually going on, what's the setup, what are we looking for, what are all the clues. And I think that's fine, because Josh O'Connor is genuinely so good in this movie. He's so likable. He's so funny and charming and like goofy, he's a great person. Like he's like, whether you're religious or not, he brings humanity to religion that most people like. You would assume that if you're Christian or Catholic that you would be good, but with how reality is, it's not the case. Just because you call yourself a Christian or a Catholic does not mean you're a good person. Yeah. But Josh O'Connor genuinely is. Yeah. And he wants to promote humanity. He would rather he doesn't want to fight he's not trying to fight God into people. He's trying to like save people through God.
He's trying to do for people what he feels God did for him. Yeah. And he's just trying to accept them and give grace to them, which is a huge theme in the movie. And I think what you're getting at is important, because I had it. Hold on one second. I had it just a second ago when you were talking.
It's good. But I think
just keep going.
Yeah, Josh O'Connor is so great in this movie, and I think that's why it works when you kind of start off with his character telling the whole story until we meet Benoit Blanc, and then we have other characters like Josh Brolin, who's like basically.
I got it.
All right.
I also wanted to say, sorry to cut you off. I also wanted to say that I love that what Rian Johnson is doing on a personal level with this movie. I think Josh O'Connor and Benoit Blanc are like two sides of Rian Johnson that are talking to each other in this movie, because I mean that's literally basically what he said in the Q&A that I went to. It's like he was raised a man of faith. Now he writes movies about solving mysteries, which faith is not about solving it. It's about almost accepting a mystery and a story that you can't prove, right? So that these are kind of two opposing things, but he has both of these beliefs in him. He's not really a man of faith anymore, but I think what he's doing is he is literally awakening that part of himself that's been gone, and he is giving it grace in a time where organized religion is heavily kind of stained, and there's a lot of ugliness that a lot of people are bringing to it. I think he's basically like through Benoit Blanc, he's like saying, I'm gonna give grace to my enemy, and I'm gonna basically make this movie about not just how religion is being turned into this ugly thing by certain people, but why it was once special to me, and why what I am grateful for about it. And so I think it's really beautiful that in this right now, out of all times, he's deciding like, no, I'm not going to indulge in my Benoit Blanc like takedown, and I'm going to like actually open my arms to this and kind of let it have some space in this story that maybe he doesn't leave room for that in his life anymore. And so bringing it back in this movie, I think it's just really, really, really cool. And really nice. So I felt like that was relevant to those first two characters before we go on to the uglier side of things.
And then we have the Josh Brolin character, who's basically what's bad about religion, especially nowadays, and not just even religion, but like the politics of being like this idol to people that people look up to, and how you could abuse that power. And I think Josh Brolin's actually a really great, in a way, villain, even though he's the so to speak dead man in this movie. But his effect on the people of the church, and I guess of the small town, is pretty big. And well, obviously that's how this whole mystery comes together, is because his influence was just so big that his death would obviously ruffle some feathers. And with the whole impossible crime aspect of it all, it kind of makes the Josh Brolin character Wicks seem otherworldly as well, because the whole concept of him dying and then coming back to life, and showcasing that he's kind of more than just the ordinary man. It's like how a lot of people view some figures today, like with Trump, Charlie Kirk, all these people that are not great, but they have huge influence. And even though people like Charlie Kirk have died, their presence still continue forward, and if anything, makes their influence even bigger, which is not a good thing.
Like martyrdom.
Yeah. And I think this movie's also just kind of criticizing that idea of the false idol, and how we shouldn't put so much of our worth and value into someone that might not even like you, or might not even agree with what you actually believe in, or we just shouldn't be putting a lot of our value into people that we don't even know. And
they're not interested in benefiting us. It's only to benefit themselves. And also Brolin's character, like, I love that scene with him and Josh O'Connor when Josh O'Connor calls him out for all the things he's doing to manipulate these people, and he does it in a very like respectable way. He's like, you see what you're doing? Like, this is not what we're supposed to do. He, like, tries to appeal to any sort of passion that Wicks might still have for the actual goal of this religion to help people.
Yeah.
And he just punches him in the fucking stomach,
Yeah.
and he, like, makes this metaphor out of it about how, yeah, you know what, our church is under attack, and you need to fight back. You need to be angry. And so he tries to then play into, like, the worst parts of the Josh O'Connor character. I think this is also important because I think Wake Up Dead Men could also be talking about how, I mean, just like Josh O'Connor's character in the movie, how he indulges in violent instincts occasionally. It's something he's trying to leave behind, but it's still kind of a part of him that comes back in moments.
Yeah.
Even to the point where he believes so much that that's a problem for him that he literally believes that he killed Thomas Hayden Church's character at one point.
Yeah.
Because he was so disoriented that
Yeah.
he thinks that he actually was capable of doing that. I think it really is about also showing grace to ourselves in moments like that. Like, you know, I like to think that I'm a nice guy, but sometimes I say things and do things and I'm like, that wasn't very nice. That was actually a dick move.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I kind of, you know, we always have moments of, I guess, contradicting the person that we're trying to be every day, because it's like, that's what growth is. It's like every single day you have to try to, like, do the thing that is hard.
Yeah.
And kind of go against, try to kind of reform the story you've been telling yourself. And I think that's what a lot of these characters are going through, like the Kaylee Spaney character, for example, that has to kind of work through the pain of not being able to walk very well. The Thomas Hayden Church character is on a journey of sobriety, and that's something that you have to do every single day. You have to resist, you know, falling back into those habits. So it's that kind of thing too. That's almost like the dead man you're trying to keep down, you know?
Yeah. I guess we'll go through. We'll just, like, run through all these different characters as well, because we got Glenn Close.
Keep your Glens close, but your Glenemies closer.
Yep, classic. I feel like we've kind of had a weird resurgence of Glenn Close these days.
I just watched The Big Chill, and I was like, oh, the Glenn
Oh
Close.
yeah, No, she's great in that too. But she's also in that one All's Fair TV show with Kim Kardashian.
That's true. I remember.
It's not good at all, but it is kind of fun.
I think I remember
in a very,
walking in and you
very
were watching.
trashy way.
You were
it's
like
very trashy, very awful, disgusting show. But it's just kind of fun watching these awful kind of characters.
Yeah, I
and
walked
people.
in and you were watching that, and you were like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, you were like, I can't believe this.
Yeah. But Glenn Close in this movie, she's really good. There's also Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, he plays Dr. Nat Sharp. So he is a doctor, but he's an alcoholic. His wife left him, and he just can't get over it.
We have Kerry Washington and Daryl McCormick, which are kind of linked together.
Yeah, she's his adoptive mother, basically.
Yeah.
Because her father basically just brought him home one day and said, you're going to raise this kid.
Crazy.
And
yeah.
as we find out, it's actually Josh Brolin's kid.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite fucking jokes in this whole movie is when he finds that out and he, like, talks to Josh Brolin's character about like, you know, like, I could help you, like, you could be president if we just, like, work together, like, you know, we could really boost your image and everything. And then he's like, we could rule together as father and son, and Josh O'Connor's like in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then he goes, yeah, like the rebels. And he's like, what? Because a lot of real life conservatives, they really think that, like, Trump is like Obi-Wan or like one of the rebels, one of the good guys. I'm like, how do you guys not see the blatant parallels between our government and the Empire?
Yeah.
Not the rebels, the Empire. The rebels are what we're supposed to be. Like, you know? So it's just so funny, especially because Rian Johnson made a Star Wars movie as well.
Yeah. I think if anybody knows about the awful fandom of Star Wars, it's going to be Rian Johnson.
It's true. And also, like, That's another thing. I think Rian Johnson, he continues to make movies with a lot of care and love, and he's like super like nice, like, down to earth guy. When I saw this movie at Austin Film Festival, I'm pissed that I walked out because there was no reentry. I should have stayed in and done this, but I didn't know it was an option. He stayed and talked to fans in that theater for like 45 minutes. Like, he was just on that stage, like, just people were just coming up and he was just talking to them for a long fucking time. So he's very like gracious and nice in that way. And he's continued to kind of keep his head held high, and like in the face of like this, he made like a genuinely great Star Wars movie, and it's perfectly fine if you don't like it, but it's like, it's never okay to like not like a movie and then just like hate on a real, like, want to be attacking a real person over that. That's stupid. But anyway, he's faced a lot of that, and he continues. He's doing this, not this. You know what I mean? Like, he's with open arms, not fists. Even though people approach his work with fists. I mean, I reviewed this movie, and I immediately got a comment from one of my longtime Last Jedi hater followers that was like, "Rian Johnson, pass." Okay, you're out of the loop, brother. He's made more movies than just that one. And they're all good. Brothers Bloom, jury's out, but they're all pretty good.
We also have Andrew Scott and Kaylee Spaney in this.
I love Andrew Scott.
He's funny in it,
Builds a moat around his house, and I do really like him as a representative of like the artist that kind of falls into this pipeline as well. Like, there's a lot of filmmakers and actors and writers and people that we know that were just like, wow, you made like all this great stuff that clearly like had a grasp on what was on good like morals in your storytelling, and yet you've just fallen from grace so hard, and you kind of have fallen for this thing, and we just see them putting out. I'm trying to think of a specific example, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, they just fall out of grace and they start making propaganda basically and all this shit. And I think it's so funny that by the end of the film he writes that book, and the whole line of people at the book signing are just like, they might as well be wearing MAGA hats.
Yeah, they all look like John Goodman's character in
Big Lebowski. Oh, Walter.
Walter, yeah.
They all look like
they even say it in the
people
movie
that I've definitely waited on. While serving tables.
Mila Kunis is also in this. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think they needed a cop character to kind of...
Might as well get someone who's somewhat canceled to be that character.
yeah. But I think they needed a cop character like that to... Well, first of all, it's a small town. There's no way the police wouldn't be on this. Second of all, there is a pressure on both Blanc to figure out what actually happened, and also Josh O'Connor to protect his own innocence in the situation. Because he's kind of, he's just under fire. Because it's like, the crime seems impossible except for maybe he did it. Like, that's the only thing you could really think of, is that he did it. And so they have to prove that there's a second possibility, because and I think Benoit Blanc is actually doing the thing. He doesn't even realize it, but he's been extending grace to people all three of these movies. And that's just how Rian writes him. Is like, he genuinely can see the good in people. Like, when it's pure and it's there, like, he can see when someone is innocent. He, like immediately. And even in the first movie, Ana de Armas literally was very involved in the murder directly, but he is patient. He doesn't always say everything he knows and observes, because he wants to see what the other characters are going to do first. So when Ana de Armas steps in front of him and has blood on her shoe, any other detective would say, "You did it," but he waits, and he's like, "Well, let's see what the bigger picture is about this." And I think that is why he is the greatest detective. And that's just how Rian writes him to be the greatest detective. Is he's very patient. He's smarter than he even lets on at times.
we also we talked about him earlier. We also have Thomas Hayden Church in this, and smaller cast members like Jeffrey Wright, who has a little small.
It reminds me of the Ethan Hawke cameo in Glass Onion. Everyone I mentioned to forgot it, but I didn't. Ethan Hawke sprays them with like anti-COVID mouth spray.
That's right.
Before they get on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a second. I was like, wait, when did he? Yeah. Yeah. And again, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Noah Segan have cameos in this as well as all of his other movies.
Noah Segan plays a bartender, and he's fun in this one. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I didn't know this, but he plays an announcer for a baseball game that Thomas Hayden Church watches in the movie. Yeah. I didn't know this until right before we hit record when I was looking at the cast. So
because he has to put him in something.
Yeah, I know, but now he's been doing vocal roles for the past few movies, and I'm like, I want him to be there, but I guess maybe he's just busy and he can just record that and send it over, So there is that.
Busy with what? I haven't even seen him in anything recently.
The most, you're right. Maybe he's got like family stuff. The most recent thing I've seen him do is actually speaking out against AI. So good for him.
Which is good. Yeah,
he's talking about how like he was like AI. There's not enough regulations on this. Like you can look up like inappropriate things on like children, and like the AI doesn't even block it. It's like really bad. And he's like, as a father, this disgusts me. I was like, you go, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He made like this whole breakdown. It was great.
Well, that's most of the pretty much everybody in the movie. We should just talk about the mystery itself now, I guess.
Yeah.
So pretty early on, I kind of figured out what was going to happen, because when you do a mystery like this, you have to foreshadow everything. You can't just be like, oh, this is what happened, and then not have any like build up to it.
Right.
I knew he was gonna lock himself in not him, but basically the Josh Brolin,
the tomb. Yeah, I think that's obvious.
Pretty obvious. Wake Up Dead Man. He's gonna come out of it.
Well, especially because this is not intended, obviously, but you're watching this movie after the Charlie Kirk thing happened. And you're thinking, there were literally people, I don't know if you saw this, but there were literally people saying Charlie Kirk was going to come back. They were like, he's going to come back. We're going to resurrect him. And I was like, no fucking way. So when it actually, like, this just felt too perfect for them to try to stage a little resurrection.
I knew the money was going to be in that tomb. I knew that's why there was gonna be him coming out of the tomb, even though it's not him. It's the Thomas Hayden Church. We'll figure that out later on in the movie.
Yeah.
But I knew that was gonna be in the tomb, because you don't just say, oh, there's millions of dollars or something.
80 million.
Yeah. Just like, oh, it just went away. It's like, no, that's gonna come back.
Well,
somewhere.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. And I knew Glenn Close had to do something with it, because when you have a narrator within a narrator, there's going to be some falsities and some lies being told and whatnot. So I knew Glenn Close had something to do with it. And we find out she does have a pretty big role in the whole situation. I think I don't even know if this is going to be a lasting problem if I rewatch it again, but I felt like there was a twist in the movie. It's not really a twist. It was more like a development, or some like whenever it's Josh O'Connor is telling the story, and Benoit Blanc is like, this doesn't make sense. You're hiding some details.
No, he goes, why'd you do it?
Yeah.
And it's like this little moment where you're like, oh, he did it, and then you figure out that he's talking about something else. Yeah. I do love the kind of playfulness of that interaction. Like, he reads a lot of this movie has to do with obviously confession, but I think it has to do with the fact that you don't get the truth until you hear it from the source. Like, you can kind of build the story in your head and build the facts and stuff, but until you actually hear it from the source, you're not going to get the truth. So Josh O'Connor has to physically write down everything that happened, and that's when Benoit Blanc is like, something, you're not telling me something.
And I feel like that was, I'm sure it was necessary to kind of keep the mystery going. But I felt it was like one too many twists happening because it felt like it kind of redirected in another way. It's like, oh, now we're looking in this direction when we should be.
Well, don't be vague. What are you talking about specifically? The
Well,
flask?
Yeah, the
like
whole
him concealing the flask behind the door.
Yeah, I just felt like that's such a small little thing that it almost feels like you could take that whole thing out, but also if you do, then you kind of have this whole.
Well, they can't
you don't
solve
have
the mystery without that, because he had to know about the toxin.
Yeah,
and he had to know that that there has to be something that there's a hitch that is manipulated. And I love the way that Rian does the mysteries in this way, because what he's able to do so brilliantly is make the mysteries feel honest. Like, he doesn't really he said this before, they're not really supposed to be puzzles to solve, they're supposed to be like experiences. Like, these movies are roller coaster rides more than anything. And I think that is true, but the way he develops the mystery in every individual clue is character driven. So if it's about Josh O'Connor hiding that so that people like Samson, the one good guy, he says he's like the one good guy here, is inspired to continue his journey of sobriety by Monsignor Wicks. So I wanted to basically, I didn't think it was relevant because he got stabbed. I just wanted to make sure that, Samson kept his hope alive and all that. And I think that being, the grace that he extended to the man he hated, saying, I'm not going to out you for this and make you look like, a piece of shit, just in a moment of instinct. And it's the same thing as Ana de Armas, in the first movie. Look, like, Rian makes it look like exactly what happened. You know how he died, it was an accident, he did it to save her, and then you're just watching her try to cover that up while she can't physically lie in the movie. And so that being, it really just lulls you into this sense of safety with the mystery in that first movie, where you feel like, oh, I know everything. Yeah. And then it shows you the other layer. And in this film, it's, again, similarly, like, they're all character traits. It's always something about the character that they can't help, that's just true about them, that they can't help, and that plays into the mystery. It's never like some BS. It's like, it's always, like, for example, in the first one, the housekeeper calls Ransom Hugh. And so when she says Hugh did this, you think she's saying you did this. It doesn't feel cheap because you established the character dynamic. Yeah. So everything in the movie is character driven. Every step of the mystery in all three of these, I think, is character driven, and that's what makes it work and never feel like he's lying to you directly. Yeah.
No, yeah.
And that's why I think that works.
I think it's also mostly based in perspective, and like, whose perspective are we looking through.
It also inspires Blanc to extend grace to Glenn Close at the end. He was thinking about that. He was like, because you did that thing with the flask, I now realize that your ability to have grace for your enemy was the reason I was able to solve this mystery, and therefore I'm going to extend grace for my enemy as well and allow her to confess to you instead. Yeah. Instead of doing the takedown. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that stuff's good. I feel like it just kind of, I don't even mind the fact that it's just like it's trying to uncover more layers. I just feel like by doing so, it hitches the pacing of the movie.
And I can see that, yeah.
And it just feels like, oh, we're going in this direction, when my mind is like, I was pretty much following along with like what was happening, and then it's like, oh no, we're actually going this, but it doesn't actually matter because we're still going along in with the whole Glenn
so it kind of felt like you were taking a little like side route to a little side quest about the whole flask thing, and then you return to the main. It's like, oh, why are we talking about, why does that matter? Right?
Yeah, I mean, it does matter, but it almost feels adjacent to like the actual big mystery of like him dying.
I guess you could say that.
And again,
I think
this could change if I rewatch it, because I know you said you also had a bit of a pacing problem the first time you saw it, so it could just be like one of those first time watch things. But another thing that I wasn't a huge fan on, and this is more maybe of a personal thing, but I just felt like both Andrew Scott and Kaylee Spaney were just kind of underutilized.
Again, I felt that on the first watch.
Yeah.
And then on this rewatch, I actually, especially Kaylee Spaney's character, I actually felt that she was more essential to it because her plight is very, like, it is very, I guess it's easy to kind of empathize with her, but you see how it's just both the characters feel very real, and that's why I like that they're in the movie. Like they might not be as directly involved with the mystery. I think you always kind of have to have those characters a little bit.
It just kind of feels in a way just a bit fillery. Like it's like we need all these characters, but at no point was I thinking that either one of them was part of it. So it kind of felt very fillery to me. Obviously, we needed the Kaylee Spaney character because she's rich and she kind of gives him the money. It gives Josh Brolin's character the money to basically operate. And then the Andrew Scott character is just kind of this theme on the fact that even popular, well-known figures could fall for these crazy personalities as well, which is all good. But I also feel like they could have maybe like merged several characters together for that.
So I think a lot of the movie has to do, like I said, with storytelling versus fact, and also when we relinquish our own storytelling to someone else, which is what a lot of people do when they idolize people like this. They let someone else control the narrative that defines their life.
Yeah.
And so Kaylee Spaney's like, oh, I can't walk unless, I get a miracle to happen.
Yeah.
There's even a joke about it. She gets up to get something, and Martha's like, it's a miracle. And she's like, I can walk. It just hurts to walk.
Yeah.
But it's like she has to work through that pain day by day to get back to playing the cello, the thing that she loves doing.
Yeah.
And Andrew Scott's character is a literal storyteller. He's a science fiction writer. He writes all these fictional stories, but then he idolizes Monsignor Wicks so much that then he just starts writing about him.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like someone else has taken control over the stories that he's telling. So it's like you kind of relinquish your individual, whereas a confession is literally you telling your story to someone else and allowing them to understand you. Yeah. And so when these figures don't leave room for that, they try to control everything's about them, then these people kind of just become hollow.
Yeah.
The hollow man.
Yeah. No, I love all the themes and all the.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're. So here's the problem: is that you're giving valid like critiques of like how it functions and like how it feels on a, I guess, smoothness level, level of like the experience of watching it. You're like, okay, but that's kind of bumpy, right?
Yeah. Or
that doesn't feel as polished, right? And I'm like, but it has significance. And you're like, yeah, I know it has significance in the themes of the movie, but it just doesn't like quite gel as well. And you're valid. That makes sense. It's just that's always my thing. Is I'm like, if it all fits together on like in the as a whole piece, and it's giving the feelings and the messaging is sound. I feel like a lot of the time that's why a second watch really does it, because I'm less worried about the
and again I
stuff.
do really want to give this a second. I definitely will, but I actually do genuinely think the themes and what Rian Johnson is saying and doing with these characters, I think this is the best movie in that case. Like I still consider the first Knives Out to be his best Knives Out movie. I just think that's so solid and it just flows so well, and there's I feel like there's almost no problems with that movie.
The first Knives Out, that's one of my favorite movies.
Period. And I think this one is like just so close to being my favorite, except for a few of those little wrinkles in it.
I
But
actually agree. It's very close to being the best one.
but I think in terms of like what it's trying to say, the themes of what he's trying to say with it, I think is the better movie of all the three.
Right. Like, it has the most, I guess, powerful themes. Maybe the vehicle isn't as polished as the first one.
Yeah, and I get it could grow on me. It could be my favorite one, but it's easily my second because, and again, I like the Glass Onion, and I think the what he's saying about, again, the rich billionaire who's like actually an idiot and not a genius is also great. These two movies just feel a bit better. They just feel a bit.
I agree with that.
More solid.
And I also think that has to do with the fact that Glass Onion was the one made during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it uses the pandemic, so it's not shy about that. But I think it's like, it definitely is felt.
Yeah.
Also, just love. I mean, I just appreciate and love that he's making these Agatha Christie style murder mysteries that tackle like 2020's like sociopolitically relevant topics. And they're so fun and they're so funny. Like, he kind of just it just builds around this like really great like core of the story where he's like, okay, like, what's something that we're seeing a lot of that's like very recognizable, and how can I build a murder mystery around that? And it's like, it all, I think, works really well in this movie. To do that, I think
I'm glad that he's made the three so far. I was when they were announcing the third one, I was kind of like, does he need to make all these movies like back to back all constantly? But like watching it, it's like, no, it's great. Like
he's great at it.
He's getting better too, and I understand why he would just want to keep making more and more. There is a part of me that just wants him to make another like original movie though.
Sure,
just something that's not related to the Knives Out universe.
I'm sure we'll get one at some point, but it's kind of like, I mean, shit, it's kind of like when I started making Knives Out videos. I made 6 of them because I was like, they do so well. Everybody likes them, and I'm good at it. So I just did that a bunch, and but man, I would say for me, I do think a rewatch, you'll probably like it a little better.
Yeah.
But I also completely understand what you're saying about the pacing and the way that certain things fit. It all matters, but it doesn't necessarily fit the way that, like, it completely smooth.
Yeah.
You know. But
yeah, I mean, it's great. It's still a recommendation for me. I'm still saying to watch it. Like, and watch it in theaters, guys. Like, don't just. And this is. It's crazy. These two movies especially should be watched in theaters. Unfortunately, you can't with Play Dirty. But movies like these mystery-filled, like fun comedy type movies are the best to watch in theaters with a crowd because people are laughing. You hear the gas. You're like, oh my god, what's going on? And you're like fully focused and immersed in it, and you're not like on your phone figuring where did I see that actor before? Oh, let me see. Or like you're just not as distracted, and you get fully immersed in these movies when you actually watch them in theaters instead of watching them at home. Which is, I get why Rian Johnson would like work with Netflix to make these movies happen because they will give him money to make them.
Right.
Almost basically a blank check at this point.
Right.
But it's like. It's almost like the signing a contract with the devil kind of thing. It's like now.
Well, he does make a Netflix joke in this movie when Andrew Scott's like, "You're going to see the idiot versions of us on Netflix."
Oh yeah. That is pretty funny. But I wish there was something in the contract where it's like, no, this needs a wide release theatrical like opening and like stay in the theaters for like at least 2 months. Like. What? I don't see why they can't just do that. You're still gonna make money.
Yeah, they need to put it out in theaters longer. They would probably make more money if they would
make more money. They would have a better reception. People would like actually talk about it more and like give their positive.
I mean, I saw this in October, so it worked for me because I saw it at the Austin Film Festival. But the film is gothic in its vibe. Like, you could have released this around Halloween.
Yeah,
and that would have been cool. It's got murder in it. But
I think they just especially with the first one, it was so very much a Thanksgiving type movie.
it was a fall movie.
They wanted to kind of remain in that little seasonal thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But I feel like the first movie is a great Thanksgiving movie. Glass Onion is a summer movie, and which I did. No, that came out around Thanksgiving too. Fucking weird. It's a summer movie. I guess it was still being made and everything.
Yeah.
And then this feels more like this could be fall, maybe October is more accurate. But now we just need a Knives Out Christmas for the next one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Shane Black.
Shane Black.
Shane Black co-writer.
Co-writer. I don't know. I would like to see that, but I just don't. I don't know. I kind of want Ryan to take full control on these.
I mean, he has been I don't think there has been a co-writer on any of these movies.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would like that to continue. I feel like his voice is what really tickles me about these. I think he's one of my favorite filmmakers. He's one of the most formative for me personally. He's one of the ones I have just a ton of respect for, and this movie is incredibly moving, and I love how personal he got with it, and so I couldn't have really asked for a better third Knives Out movie than
this truly it I knew it was gonna be good, obviously, but it kind of outdid itself in a lot of cases for me, because I was kind of I'm a bit. I'm not over it, but I'm just do we really need another one now? But it really does. It's great.
He kind of shows you. He's like, this is why we need another one. Yeah. Because y'all are still wilding, and I can still make fun of you.
Yeah.
With these murder mysteries.
Exactly, and it just now I'm excited for whatever fourth movie he comes out with.
And you got the 2025 effect on this one, where you're like, do we really need? Oh,
yeah. 2025 really is just every new movie that comes out, it's oh, this is great. This is just amazing. What?
Yeah, I mean, not every movie,
not
but
every movie, but
pretty much every movie that we were banking on.
Yeah,
we were please be good, and it was.
And
it was
even
good.
Even the ones that I wasn't even thinking was gonna be even marginally good, just ends up being if anything, fine, and I'm just oh, that wasn't that bad. Yeah. Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Dude, Now You See Me, I love Now You See Me, Now You Don't. It's so goofy.
I genuinely, I don't love the first two, but the third one was super fun.
It was
it actually understands what it's trying to be.
Bro, it is Fast and Furious with magicians.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's the same vibe as Fast and Furious, but with magicians.
Yeah. And I know 2025 will go down in the history books as one of the best years for movies ever.
And I find it crazy that I still get comments saying, "Oh, this year sucks," or the movies suck right now, and I'm like, "Bro, what?
It's insane.
This year is
that
crazy."
Is an insane comment to make, because
I don't know.
People, they don't know what they're talking about. They do not know what they're talking about. Their opinions might be their own, but opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got them, and they all suck, and they all smell. They suck. It's dude, what?
I mean, I think it's all fine whatever way you enjoy films. It's just that I don't know. I just can't. I'm trying not to be here's the thing, right? Is that I'm always talking about how I don't like when people treat other people's opinions like anomalies.
Yeah.
You hear, same shit happened to me the other day. Someone was like, I can't even conceive of someone loving Trap. Someone commented on my video, and I was like, okay, well, that exists. Lots of people love this movie. You just haven't met any of them. I was like, be honest with me. Have you spoken to another person before me that loves this movie? And they said no. And I'm like, okay, well then you actually have something to learn from me then, right? Yeah. Because you've only ever talked to haters, so you want to know how I got here, right?
Yeah.
What? How does it? So it's I just hate when people are like, oh, I've only ever heard someone say good or bad things about this particular movie, and now you're saying the opposite, so you must be wrong.
It's this whole hive mind thing, and
Yeah.
well, there's 8+ billion people in this world, on this earth. Like, there are bound to be people that have different opinions than you. Like,
Yeah.
there's bound to be people. Like, Trap was made by thousands of people. You don't think that any one of those people that made the movie don't like the movie? How can you not conceive that someone doesn't like that someone likes the movie?
Yeah.
It's such a stupid comment to make. Like, genuinely people,
Like,
especially in America these days, are just so stupid nowadays.
he was like, well, it was so funny because he first comment was like, oh, so you, it was on this video where I break down the meta stuff in the movie, and he was like, what you're saying makes the movie even worse, which is a valid opinion to have. If you think that that makes the movie worse somehow, sure, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and there's so much tacky stuff in the plot that you don't even know about. You don't think I know about the tacky stuff in the plot? You don't think I know about that? And so I like responded, and I was like, "No, this is like my favorite movie. Like I know about it." And
it's like, do you not know that
like,
I've seen it 20 times in the theaters?
He was like, "What?" Well, obviously he doesn't know that, but
Yeah.
it's like to assume when I'm making a breakdown of the movie that I haven't. That
I would have pulled that out immediate.
No. Just wait, because he was like. I was like, no, this is my favorite movie. Like, I know, which, and I was like, I've made like 20 plus videos on this movie. It's a whole playlist.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, well, what other movies do you like? I just seriously can't conceive of this being someone's favorite film. And I just was like, go to my letterbox if you want to see. And he just goes, okay, I'm not that interested in seeing what you like. And I go, well, I'm not that interested in listing it for you either. So if you don't care, just, go away. And I was like, you know, and he was like, well, I'm just saying, like, what you said, like, the movie is terrible, and what you said makes it even worse. And I go, I wholeheartedly do not care. Like, I do not care what you feel about the movie.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I just care that you said that there was stuff in the plot that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And I said, I've seen the movie 32 times. I've made 20 videos on it, and I've talked about it to M. Night and his daughter in person.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
I forgot what he said after that, but it was a whole back and forth for no fucking reason. Video's like 2 months old. I don't know why I even responded to it anyway.
Yeah.
My point is, I really don't like when people do that, and sometimes I find myself being so, I live in my own brain, so I find myself looking at people saying movies suck now, or this year has been terrible, and my assumption is, well, how many have you seen? Have you really been watching what's coming out, or are you only watching the mainstream stuff? Because I think that's important context. But I also hate that sometimes I kind of get that gut reaction of like almost putting my fists up, like Reverend Judd is like, oh no, you just don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want to have grace for all these people that have different opinions, and maybe guide them in the direction of movies that they might like.
Yeah.
And I feel like that should be my purpose for being someone who talks about them on the internet. And it shouldn't be about how much I disagree with their assessment. It should be about trying to find common ground.
Yeah.
But like this movie showed me is that, those moments are going to happen where I kind of go against what I tell myself I am and who I tell myself I am. And we get on the podcast and we get fired up and we're like, this thing is so annoying. I hate, all this. And then, sometimes I feel bad afterwards because I'm like, maybe we were a little too aggressive about that. And so this movie was really comforting to me because it showed me like the humanity that's just a human experience. Yeah. It is a daily struggle to try to grow out of a habit that you don't like. And so it doesn't mean that we're not, necessarily kind, gracious people just because we have those moments of weakness, but it's just about, trying again the next day. Yeah. So, but I find myself in those, you get into those safe situations where you feel like you can say the things that bother you, and, sometimes it's not nice, and you're like, oh, I don't like that even exists within me. Yeah. That capacity to be kind of mean when I don't even really know this person. personally. I don't know everything about them. There's probably a lot of good stuff I don't know.
Well,
You know?
that's why it always, whenever someone's complaining about something to me, and I have no like, I have no say in the matter.
Don't say
like,
someone, say Peyton.
Sometimes it's you,
It
but
is a lot of the time it's
but
me.
like someone will be like complaining about something, and I was like, okay, but like what? And I would just like go into the details about it. And
You ask a lot of questions. It's
Yeah.
good because sometimes, I'm complaining about something that happened at work or something, and you're asking me all these questions, and then I realize I'm like, oh, I'm fired up because it's like I almost want to be fired up because
Yeah.
you want it. Like, I think that's a human thing too. You want to create like an enemy out of somebody else so that you can feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
And I kind of catch myself. I'm like, okay, so it's not as major as I'm making it out to be. There's actually nuance to the situation, and what you find is that sometimes you actually don't really have as much ground to stand on for being very angry with another person as you think.
Yeah.
And once you explore all the context, you can kind of see how both of you are just humans, and you just had a moment of friction.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, now I feel like an asshole, right? But it's like, I think it's just that instinct of like, oh, I want to displace all the blame.
Yeah.
So I think that's what, again, this movie, like with the whole confession thing, it's it really reminded me of that that idea that sometimes you just gotta admit that you're gonna slip in and
Yeah.
and the dead party, the part of you that you call that you think is dead, is gonna wake up every once in a while, and you're gonna have to reckon with that.
Yeah, like, and I always think that people are very complex, and that you don't always know what's going on with anybody's life, and obviously, like anybody, I get upset over things, and I get mad over people doing things like at work all the time. I get mad at my coworkers all the time for doing just stupid things, and I would like see myself like I go through the motions in my head of how am I gonna deal with this thing, and then in the end, I usually just ask him like what happened, like what's going on, what led to this.
You
thing.
That's the grace. You
Yeah.
give them a chance to explain themselves, to
Because
confess themselves, so that you can understand.
yeah, because I go through in my head like all the time of like how I could be like so mean and like get mad at them.
Yeah,
Like,
and sometimes it feels like you really have the chance, the
Yeah.
opportunity to do that, and
And-
sometimes you have to pick,
Yeah,
Right.
and then I just see it in my head, and I'm like, this is not gonna turn. If I approach this in such a bad and negative and antagonizing way, then it's just gonna come back, and maybe there's a reason why they did it. Maybe something happened, and like there's an explanation for it, and then I look like the bad guy, and I look stupid. So it's always better to just like ask people, like just be like, so what happened? Why did this happen? Give
Right.
them the room to explain. And if there is no room to explain, that's when you go in and be like, okay, maybe don't do that.
I mean, there is probably I think everyone has at least one example of this that they're currently going through right now, where you have a narrative in your head about how a person actually like is, and you have these frustrations with them, and you're not confronting it, and you're not talking to them about it.
Yeah.
And so you kind of build and build and
Oh,
build.
yeah.
It's like you're a detective yourself. Like you're trying to you're like, oh, I see the motive, I see what happened, I see the facts of it, like, and you kind of build this idea of what happened. But until someone actually gets a chance, if you give them the chance to actually explain themselves to you, you're never going to fully know
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
And so it really is like difficult to be to try to I guess call yourself like a good, gracious, kind person, and like you're always going to have to fight those impulses that are like, oh, this is so frustrating, this thing that this person did, but I'm not going to talk to them about it, and I'm just going to like hold on to that.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to like because my narrative that they are doing this wrong thing and I'm a victim of it is more comfortable than the uncomfortable, which is talking it out and finding out that maybe maybe they're trying their best too, and it's just conflicting with me in a way that's not intentional.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like, just, maybe they just don't know, and it's like, it's almost like solving the problem is more uncomfortable than just letting it fester.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean,
as roommates, I'm sure we know that.
Yeah, but like I just think about all the times that I didn't like just talk to a person. I just blew up on someone, and how bad it looked on me, and like how
it always does.
Yeah, and it's like, why did I do that? Why did I say that thing to this? Like, they were just doing this one, and I just don't ever like being in that situation where now I'm in the wrong. And now I look like the bad guy. And I think just people need to like see that more often and be like, you can be the bad guy too. Like, just because you're living your life and you think that you're the main character doesn't make you not the bad guy.
Yeah, when things like that come your way, you do have like a choice, and a lot of the time, the more tempting choice is to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
That's that temptation of the Eve's apple.
And sometimes you might even think that you have motivation for it. Like, even the Josh Brolin character in this, he's calling out all these bad things that these people in the church are doing.
Yeah.
But he's using that as fuel and giving himself the power of being like, I'm better. I'm like, I have God on my side, and you guys are the bad people. It's like, no, you need to be more understanding. You need to open up and find opportunities and ways to fix problems rather than just call them out and see what happens, and
right,
have them deal with it by themselves. That's why one of the great moments in this movie is when Josh O'Connor's on the phone with the lady, and she just kind of breaks down to him, and he's like, oh, this is my job now. Like, I need to talk to her about like how she's feeling, because
he's like, I need to be a priest. Like, I need to be the thing that I tell myself I am.
Yeah, which is great. That's like who he's supposed to be, and he's like, this is more important than me trying to solve this case to say that I'm innocent, even though.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna make it's bigger than me. Also, that earlier in the film, before that, Glenn Close calls him a false priest, and he smacks her hand away, and that's like, he gets offended by that, and his kind of violent tendency comes out in that moment. Yeah. And I think that's because that's a real thing. A lot of the time, we respond angrily to things that happen because there's a part of us that feels like we're being called out for something we actually do deep down believe about ourselves. Maybe he feels like a false priest, and so that being said to him caused him to overreact to her because he realized that he in a way thinks she's right and doesn't want her to say that, and doesn't want to admit that to himself. And so a lot of the time, the problems we have with other people are just reflections of the problems we have with ourselves. We just kind of see in other people the things we don't like about ourselves. And that lady on the phone is really important because, like, she's so talkative and she's kind of interrupting him like a bunch. And we all know talkative people that just talk. And a lot of the time, sometimes, we're kind of so focused on our stuff and what we're trying to say and get out that we're not actually listening to what they're saying. Yeah. Like, some of the times he interrupts her, he asks a question and she's like, no, I already said that. You weren't listening. Yeah. And so it really shows that, give a little grace to everybody. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great way to wrap this up.
Yeah, we got really into it.
We had a confession.
Yeah. I guess outro.
I guess that's it. Yeah. I will say I'm going to give Wake Up Dead Man. No, I'm going to give Play Dirty 4 stars. 4 apples in the box out of 5, and I will give Wake Up Dead Man 5 apples in the box out of 5.
Yeah. Very, very similar. I'm going to give Play Dirty 4 apples in the box, and then for Wake Up Dead Man, for now, I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5.
I think that's fair. That's what I gave it on the first watch too, but I think that's a good rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, let us know what your favorite Knives Out movie is. And
I think we both agree it's the first one, but this
Yeah.
one's close. It's good. It's a really good close second.
I could see a lot of people saying that this could be their favorite.
A lot of people have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad. And I see that now. The first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh, but the first one's so clearly better." The second time, I was like, "Oh no, that's a serious
Contender.
That's
Yeah,
a serious contender." And then favorite Shane Black crime comedy of also the three.
Yeah.
There's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Nice Guys. I almost said Knives Out. Nice Guys and Play Dirty. I would say easily the Nice Guys is
Nice Guys
my
is
favorite.
basically a like comedy noir masterpiece in my mind,
I would say so too.
and like a buddy, not even buddy cop, but just buddy comedy. It's just a lot of things, but it's just so great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, well, that about does it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please give us a follow everywhere. If you're listening to this on one platform, go and follow us on the other ones. We're on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. So go follow and subscribe. Follow our TikTok and Instagram, too.
Yeah.
And we post episodes every Monday. So we've got an exciting, I think, month ahead of us. It's currently December 1st. We've got Avatar coming out this month. We've got a few other things planned. So stick around and just leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Send us an email if you want. And, I don't know, confess your sins to us if you want. I think, yeah, we'd be willing to listen. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Peyton.
And I'm Adrian.
And we'll see you next time on the Apple Box.